Welcome to the Lag Parshah podcast, where we delve into the Torah's timeless wisdom and uncover uplifting and empowering lessons tailored to the challenges of our generation. Good to know Shabbos Parshas Emor Tafshin Pei. I hope you're doing well. I hope you had a wonderful week. This week's year is sponsored by Yossi and Miri Brachfeld of Wellesley Hills, New York, in honor of the upcoming wedding, the chasana of their dear son Shlomo, Mazel Tov, as well as by David and Esti Lominger of Wellesley Hills, New York, Nishmas Aliel ben Mitzal David Halevi, Shlomo ben Avram Pinchas Halevi, and Leah Riva Bas Elio Halevi. May the Neshamas have an Aliyah, may they be a Melitzeisher for their mishpacha. This week's shir is additionally sponsored by Mrs. Lily Berenstein in the Schus Ilu Neshama of her father. The upcoming Shalishim is this week. May his Neshama have an Aliyah, may he be a Melitzeisher for the entire mishpacha. Thank you to our corporate sponsors, the Hassans Alts Law Firm, Bluestone Brokerage, T7 Capital, and Wolgamuth and Associates. For future dedications to sponsor the Lechtech weekly publication and podcast, please reach out to 845-367-2959. If it's a yahrzeit, a birthday, anniversary, whatever it may be, please reach out and grab this wonderful opportunity to sponsor the Harbatzas Torah. So today is Lag BaOmer, and it is also Erev Shabbos, Parshas Emor. And for a few minutes, we're going to try to find the connection, what they share in common, and what we can take out of it. So we may have danced around fires, the Kavadatana, the Ka. We all know there are tremendous tragedies that have happened this week and in the ongoing war, and unfortunately is happening in Eretz Yisrael. And the news is just crushing, and the new reality that families have to face is just unbearable, treacherous to even think of. And it's also, today marks the yahrzeit of the kiddushim who perished 4 years ago. May the neshamas have an aliyah. And we're not here to strike a somber note, but we have to stay aware. And it's no coincidence that the parshah of kiddush Hashem, V'nikdashti b'seich b'nei Yisrael, coincides with Lag BaOmer. And as we will see, both this parshah, the mitzvah of kiddush Hashem, and the takeaway message, what we can learn from Tana Lekar of Shimon Bar Yochai, both teach us and remind us that true greatness shines brightest. The flame blazes strongest through pure, untainted sacrifice, devotion, and an unwavering commitment to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, His plan, and whatever Hashem has in mind in store, no matter the circumstances. In the beginning of the parsha, the pasuk says, Parak Chaf Beis, pasuk Lamed Beis, V'leisechalalu es Hashem kodshi v'nikdashti b'seich b'nei Yisrael, ani Hashem mekadishchem. And you shall not desecrate my holy name, and I shall be sanctified among the children of Klal Yisrael. I am Hashem, who sanctifies you. Rashi quotes the Sifra, an astounding Sifra, who writes as follows: What does it mean when it says in the pasuk V'leisechalalu, Lavar al divir mizidin, that you should not do things intentionally against HaKadosh Baruch Hu, don't desecrate Hashem's name intentionally. But mimashma shenem V'leisechalalu ma tamil v'nigdashti. Asks the Sifra, once I know that I can't desecrate HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and I'm staying clean, and I'm doing His will, then why do I have to say v'nikdashti? Why do I have to sanctify? That in itself, of abstaining, staying far away from Chil Hashem, that should automatically add up to Kiddush Hashem. So why do we need both? What's the Torah telling us? Every word in the Torah is sacred, there's meaning, there's intention. So says the Sifra, Moser atzmecha v'kadeshimi, that the extra knech, the extra words of the Torah are telling us a new lesson. Moser atzmecha v'kadeshimi, that when a person's giving up his life to be Mikadeshim Shamayim, which is the greatest mitzvah possible, Yachol b'yachid tamlar b'seich b'nei Yisrael, U'chishol moiser atzmai, what's the lesson? What's the Kadosh Baruch Hu mandating? That when a person is in a situation where he has to give up his life for Kadosh Baruch Hu, Yimser atzmai almen aslamos. Whoa, big words, bold words. And these literally mean that when a person is at that stage, in that situation, Rachmana litzlan, but it's the greatest mitzvah, a person has to have in mind Yimser Atzmai, to be completely ibegegeben, completely given over, Amenas Lamas, that he's dying, that he's giving up his life for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, for Hashem. And the question is, that Rashi is teaching us, essentially, based on the Torah, that a Yid must be willing to give up his life in order to be Mekadeshim Shemayim. But not only that, he has to do it Amenas Lamas, with the full awareness and intent to die for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But the question, which the Mishcha Shem and Rav Chaim Kaufman in his Sefer asks, is why is this necessary? What's this extra mandate, this extra step over here? Every mitzvah, shaking a lulav, sitting in a sukkah, keeping Shabbos, it's all meant to be l'shem shamayim. Why? Because the Kadosh Baruch Hu told us to do it. It's a tzivah Hashem. Hashem commanded us to do so. So when it comes to this mitzvah of V'nikdashti b'seich b'nei Yisrael, what's this extra step, this extra emphasis? What are we highlighting over here that's unique, that's different than all other mitzvahs? And the answer, which Reb Chaim Kaufman proposes, is as follows. The Torah is making a specific and unexpected requirement that when a person is faced with the ultimate test, he might be tempted to make his own cheshbonos, his own spiritual calculations. And he may reason that if he remains alive and HaKadosh Baruch Hu performs a nes to save him, it would result in a greater kiddush Hashem, a more powerful demonstration of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's glory, of his omnipotence. And while it's true that there's a mitzvah to give up one's life al kiddush Hashem, this person thinks that perhaps it's even greater if I survive miraculously, if I show the world HaKadosh Baruch Hu's giloy, his kvod shemayim, how much he cares for his coveted people, his nation, his children. And that will be an even greater and clearer demonstration of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's power, his endless love and compassion. And in his mind, he's not running away from sacrifice. He's trying to bring the greatest possible sanctification of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's name. And to this flawed thought, this flawed strategy, this person's in a bad, tough situation. He's between a rock and a hard place. But even then, the Torah speaks to us. And the Torah says no. V'nikdashti b'seich b'nei Yisrael. Al-manas lamus. A person's sole intention must be purely for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, without personal calculations or alternative outcomes in mind. And the message is that we can't play HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We can't try to figure out what might result in a greater revelation of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's glory. That's not our job. Our job is to do what HaKadosh Baruch Hu commands us, even if that means giving up our lives. And that is what the Torah is commanding us. Stay out of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's cheshbonos. Don't worry about the outcome. That belongs to Him. Like we say in Hallel, Hashemayim Shemayim L'Hashem v'Aretz Nasan L'Bnei Adam. The heavens belong to Hashem and the earth He gave to mankind. What David HaMelech is communicating, what he's telling us, is Hashem is in Shemayim. Hashem has it all worked out. Hashem has the master plan. And we stay v'Aretz Nasan L'Bnei Adam. We stay low-key, we fly low, we stay under the radar. And this is a tremendous mandate, and we can't judge anyone, and we can't fathom what it means to be in such a situation. But the Torah, even in such a situation, is giving us the guidelines, giving us the parameters of how we must go about, even in this tough, treacherous to think about situation. How does this connect to the Rashbi? There's an astounding medrash in Shir Hashem which relates as follows. Parak Aleph, Beis. It's a long, beautiful medrash, a story, but to say it in English, the story goes as follows. There was a couple in the city of Sidon that was married for 10 years, but did not merit any children. And halachically, they were supposed to separate if they couldn't have children. As Chazal tell us, the world was not created to remain stagnant, to remain empty. It was l'sheves yitzra. It was to create, to procreate, to have children, l'shem ha'aretz u'maloya, m'loy chol ha'aretz kevoidei, to fill the world with light, to fill it with mitzvahs and Torah and avodas Hashem. So what happened? They came to the Rashbi to ask for a divorce. But instead of letting them split up right away, the Rashbi told them as follows. Just like you got married with a happy meal, with a beautiful festive Suda and a celebration, you should separate the same way, with a meal and celebration. So what happened? They made a big feast, a big dinner, meats and fish and wine. And during the party, the husband drank a lot and became very happy. And while in a good mood, he told his wife as follows. He said, take the best thing you want from my house and go back to your father's house. After he fell asleep, she told the servants, pick up his bed with him in it and carry him to my father's house. And when he woke up in the middle of the night and saw that he was in her father's house, he asked his wife, what am I doing here? And she answered, you said I should take the best thing out of your house, and for me, you are the best thing. And subsequently, the next morning they returned to the Rashbi, and on the spot he stormed the heaven with tefillos. He broke through the mechitzah shel barzel, the iron curtain, and from there they were blessed with the long-awaited miracle and they merited children. There's something called a medrash pliya, an astounding, incomprehensible medrash, and this would be one of them. The kasha is, why didn't the Rashbi daven right away? If the Rashbi had, it was within his bandwidth, it was within his capability to storm Shemayim, to help this couple out, to be the A-time, to be the Bnei Olam for this couple. What was the pshat in this whole feast? And that he needed, that he should be schlepped out, and the whole thing, what made sense? Just daven for them on the spot. They came for a bracha, they came for some chizik, they came for really a divorce, but if at the end of the Maisa, they were married to children, why didn't he do this in the beginning? And the answer, says the Mishcha Shemen, the Heilige Rebbe, Reb Chaim Kaufman, Hu adavar shedibarnu. This is what we've said. The Rashbi needed to confirm, he needed a clear demonstration that there was a pure, complete desire for the emes, for the truth, for fulfilling Hashem's will, without any personal calculations or ulterior motives. And only once the Rashbi saw this, with absolute clarity, when he witnessed the wife, who loved her husband more than anything, ready to set aside her own feelings just to uphold his words, even without fully understanding them, only then did he know that they were suitable, they were meant for each other. Only then did he know that they will be zeicha, that they can be zeicha v'zer shel kayama, to bring glory and light to this world. And she was determined to obey for one reason only, to fulfill the will of the tzaddik, the Rashbi. And ultimately, only then, when this was clear to him, when he saw this, did he say, okay, I'm ready to daven for you. You're worthy of my prayers. I know you are a worthy proposition. And as such, he davened, he stormed the heavens, and they married their children. And what we see from here, from the Rashbi and from the parshah, is pure intentions, leaving our cheshbonos, our calculations out of the picture. And it's definitely not easy to let go of what we want and to accept what Hashem wants instead. But when we really give up control and open our hearts to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that's when the doors open. That's when real powerful miracles happen. This is the core message of the parshah, the meaning of Lag BaOmer, and the lasting, enduring legacy of the Rashbi. While no doubt there is so much uncertainty, pain, anguish in the world as a klal, as a link, as a chain, and so much pain and anxiety and worry and fear as individuals and nisyonos that we all face. The parsha, in the mitzvah of V'nikdashti b'seich b'nei Yisrael, making kiddush, Hashem reminds us, do it lishma. Whatever situation you are, give up completely, as hard as it is, as hard as it sounds. We can't judge one another. It's hard to even judge ourselves when we're put in those situations. But that's what Hashem wants. And when we give up to His plan, we can be zeichet to miracles, to yeshuahs, to nechamas. Our tefillas can be answered. And as well, that's what the Rashbi is teaching us. On this Lag BaOmer, we're reminded that when our intentions are pure, when they align with the HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when we take out our cheshbonos, it is then that we can be zeiche, we can unlock doors, break the mechitzah shel barzel, and merit geulah, yeshuah, nechama. And with that, may we be zeiche to all of that, those geulas, those yeshuahs and nechamas on personal levels, and ultimately, may we be saved from all the pain that we endure as a klal with the arrival of Mashiach Tzidkenu, b'meher v'amenu. Amen. I thank each and every one of you for listening. I hope you enjoyed, and I wish you a wonderful Shabbos.